7 boxes.
Let ye and I relate properly. Thanks for asking. Now get we the knowledge we have to be.
All right, go ahead, bro. Do your thing, man. Seriously, do your thing.
Peace and love, everybody. It is 9/22/2022 Gregorian calendar.
Indeed. Namaste, namaste, namaste. Islam, 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 bro. Indeed. I just really felt like, I'm like, man, I've had that feeling like you're about to go in. So I'm just like, I think I should hit the record button.
No, I feel it, bro. Yeah, you already know. So we're looking at the United States codes right now. We're actually studying these codes and statutes at large in regards to utility companies, right? So what title are we looking at?
And remember, I'm just multitasking. I might as well just say this for the record because I'm editing the video to post as a clip for our social media also. So I yield.
Islam, bro. So we're looking at Title 42 today, right? And what is 42? Is public health and welfare. All right, and now this has over 160 chapters here, 160 chapters, right? But today we're zoning in on chapter 81. And let me come in with my other better mic, right? Just so we can have a clean audio for this recording. So we're going to click chapter 81, and now we're looking at 3 subsections or subchapters here. All right. It is I. All right, how do I sound now?
I think you're definitely cool, bro. As always when you come in on your phone.
All right, so we're 42 USC chapter 81 subchapter 1, and now we have our subsections 6801 to 6808. Can't forget that one, right? Because we do music. 6808.
It's long.
All right, so let's just go through it. Go through it. 6801. Not that long, very short. All right. Congressional findings and purpose. A, the Congress finds that improvement in electric utility rate design has great potential for reducing the cost of electric utility services to consumers and current and projected shortages of capital, and for encouraging energy conservation and better use of existing electrical generating facilities. B, it is the purpose of this subchapter to require the Secretary to develop proposals for improvement of electric utility rate design and transmit such proposals to Congress, to fund electric utility rate demonstration projects, to intervene or participate upon request in the proceedings of utility regulatory commissions, and to provide financial assistance to state officers or offices or consumer services to facilitate presentation of consumer interests before such commissions. So what is electric utility? The term electric utility means any person, state agency, or federal agency which sells electric energy.
Which sells electric energy. Ante. Any person.
So obviously speaking on a corporation.
14th Amendment, of course. First thing comes to my mind, of course.
And that would be
your federal agency.
This would be the source because 6,802 or 6802 is definitions.
Is that what we're reading now? Just so it's up.
We're in 6801.
Alrighty, so that's next.
So like, secretary means the Secretary of Energy, of course. All right.
All right. Who's the Secretary of Brother Ara?
Again?
Who's the Secretary of Energy? Can you type White House Cabinet in a new tab?
Yeah.
That should get us there quickly if we just type White House Cabinet. Yes. I guess we scroll down, we should be able to see who the Energy Secretary is.
The cabinet role is to advise the president on any subject he or she may require relating to the duties of each member's respective office. Oh,
funny. President means to sit in front of, because side, we already know from the Proto-Indo-European root prefix se. So a president is someone in front sitting. Joe, or short for Joseph, would be he who enlarges, and Biden is Middle Dutch for to await. So this is the one sitting before the expanded weight. That's what President Joseph Biden actually denotes etymologically.
interesting.
Just put that out there. And you already know, I'm on some believe nothing I say, to the point where if you go into the word abode, etymologically, it'll take you to bide. And then you'll see in Middle Dutch, biden means to wait. See where it says abode is action of waiting. So even when someone when someone resides, they're sitting in the back, or they're sitting again. So in looking at this, I was like, let me see what reside means, because a resident is either someone who's doing something medically for patients, or someone who's sitting in the back, someone who's permanently sitting still. And they actually liken that word to stupor or stupefy. So someone who's like stunned in a daze and they're just stuck there. So abode, action pertaining to waiting. Watch when you see where it says from abiden. I guarantee you the Middle Dutch is just biden. Go on abide. See where it says see bide? All right, click on it, you'll see. To remain, wait. Look, Middle Dutch. Where's the Middle Dutch? There it is, to the right, second line. There he is.
Wow.
To stay,
continue, live, remain. So they got this guy, if we could call him that. We don't know if he's CGI or what's going on, right? But they got this guy and they're using him so that they could stay, because they got a stronghold right now on the minds of the people as far as occupying the land. And so this is symbolic of someone who is being used in order to stay, in order for them to live, because we know the priesthood is dead. So they're trying to remain in control during this age of Aquarius.
Last thing to add to your wisdom, see the Proto-Indo-European root, Bhidh, Bhidh to the left, third line.
Proto-Indo-European.
On that,
I don't see it.
Bhidh on the left.
Yeah, this one. Want me to click that?
Yeah, watch what it says. It's dealing with to trust, confide. I mean, it is a Proto-Indo-European root for trust, confide, persuade. And you'll find federal, fiduciary, all of that.
Interesting. Wow.
So it's dealing with honesty, faith, confidence, trust. Reliance. When I saw reliance, immediately I thought of, wow, fraud. Because
Fraud.
the fourth element in fraud is that you relied on the statement that was made, even though it was a false statement, and then it caused injury.
Yeah, the word relied will forever bring up fraud in my mind.
Wow. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. That was very good add-on there, bro. That was good to know. So let's actually break this down.
Yeah, you were looking
Biden-Harris administration.
Secretary. I yield, bro. I yield.
I didn't hear that last part.
You were looking for the energy secretary, because I had asked the secretary, as they call him, the Secretary of Energy.
I'm gonna read this paragraph real quick, and then we'll look at the members.
Islam.
President Joe Biden's cabinet includes Vice President Kamala Harris and the heads of the 15 executive departments. The Secretaries of Agriculture, Commerce, Defense, Education, Energy, Health and Human Services, Homeland Security, House and Urban Development, Interior, Labor, State, Transportation, Treasury, and Veterans Affairs. That's why I said the veterans are federal agents, but they don't hear me though. And the Attorney General. Additionally, the cabinet includes the White House Chief of Staff, the U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, the Director of National Intelligence, and the U.S. Trade Representative, as well as the heads of the Environmental Protection Agency, Office of Management and Budget, OMB, Council of Economic Advisors, Office of Science and Technology, Policy, and Small Business Administration. President Biden's cabinet reflects his pledge to appoint leaders of government agencies that reflect the country they aim to serve. Why do you say the country they aim to serve? That's very interesting that it doesn't say America or the United States of America. It says the country they aim to serve. Wow.
So asking what's that? What is a country, and what country do they aim to serve? Because I see count rye without an E at the end. Like, are we counting rye bread or something? Anyway.
Right. China. Yeah. I think they're helping China. But yeah. In order of succession to presidency, Kamala Harris, vice president. She looked like she worked her way to the top. Wow. Anthony Blinken. Wow, he looks like Jim Carrey on Liar Liar.
Does resemble that. Mm-hmm. So he's dealing with that's very ninth house. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Janet Yellen. Hey, why are you yelling?
Very second house or eighth house type energy, maybe.
Lloyd Austin. Very
touched up photo there, or maybe
a little bit of airbrush, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Merrick Garland, Attorney General. Oh, that's who you would file a federal criminal complaint with?
Technically, yeah, because those state level attorney generals are deputized under his authority. At least that's the idea.
I see what you're saying.
My studies thus far, so
I see what you're saying, because I come to find out that the municipal court is under the Supreme Court, and I was like, very interesting how the Supreme Court makes rules for all the courts.
Well, technically, yeah. Now you're back to Article 3, Section 2 on the Constitution.
Indeed. We have Deb Haaland, Secretary of Interior. Also, I forgot. These are the heads of the 15 executive departments, as they mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, after Kamala, of course.
Right, she's vice president, indeed. So there should be 16 here, right? We have the Secretary of Agriculture, Tom Vilsack. We have Gina Raimondo, Secretary of Commerce. Marty Walsh, Secretary of Labor.
Like he wasn't ready to take that picture. Like in the middle of talking and he just snapped. But anyway.
My guy was like, what did she say before I left the house? Like, he's trying to remember something for sure.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
We have Xavier Becerra, Secretary of Health and Human Services. We have. He wasn't ready either.
He's sure, like
He was like, I don't know. And she was like, "Whoa, you took the photo already." Marcy Fudge.
Fudge.
Secretary of House and Urban Development. Wow.
Yeah, so that's CFR 24, right? Or is that USC 24? Which one is HUD? It's 24 CFR, right? 24 Code Federal Regulations. It's HUD, right?
I believe so. I know low income housing is 42 chapter 8.
Still in 42 USC, yeah. Which what we're doing. Health and welfare.
Absolutely.
So it's her authority or the act she would be acting under is that. She would be acting under that particular act.
Absolutely.
USC, I yield.
And might butcher this one, but Pete Buttigieg. Right. Secretary of Transportation. Jennifer Granholm, Secretary of Energy. We got her. Eastern Star, maybe.
That is very mannequin looking. No disrespect. I'm just saying.
Yeah. We have also Secretary of Education, Dr. Miguel Cardona. We have Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Dennis McDonough. We have Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary of Homeland Security, Michael Regan, Administrator of the Environmental Protection Agency, Avril Haines, Director of National Intelligence, Catherine Tai, United States Trade Representative, Linda Thomas Greenfield, United States Ambassador to the United Nations, Dr. Cecilia Rouse, Chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, Isabel Guzman, Administrator of the Small Business Administration, Shalonda Young, Director of the Office of Management and Budget, and Ron Klain, Chief of Staff. Let's go back up here to Jennifer. You can't click on it? Interesting.
She almost looks like Miss Brady.
Right. Let's see. Oh, it's not. Let me. Oh, yeah. Jennifer Mulhern Granholm, born February 5th, 1959, is a Canadian-American lawyer, educator, author, political commentator, and politician, serving as the 16th United States Secretary of Energy. United States Secretary of Energy is the head of the United States Department of Energy, a member of the Cabinet of the United States, and 15th in the presidential line of succession. The position was formed on October 1st, 1977, with the creation of the Department of Energy when President Jimmy Carter signed the Department of Energy Organization Act. Originally, the post focused on energy production and regulation. The emphasis soon shifted to developing technology for better and more efficient energy sources, as well as energy education. After the end of the Cold War, the department's attention also turned toward radioactive waste disposal and maintenance of environmental quality. When I see stuff like this, I just keep thinking about, I'm going to leave them here long enough for you to learn government.
Yeah. Prophet Noble Drelly did, as we trust in discerning and honor that he said, I'll leave the European here long enough to teach you government.
Islam. So let's go back over here. All right. And then one last thing we had to define here, two last things. Utility Regulatory Commission. The term Utility Regulatory Commission means any state agency or federal agency which has authority to fix, modify, approve, or disapprove rates for the sale of electric energy by an electric utility other than by such agency.
So they oversee what the energy utility does. So they set the standards, or they're the board. We know when we see commission is board. So that have the say so over how so-called energy is sold. However, that sounds like that's only for people who are contracted, oath-taking federal, state, or municipal agents that are the ones obligated to act in purchasing, so to speak, or consuming, being the consumer, right? Pertaining to said energy being sold. So again, that does not mean the common people. What was that definition you just looked up though? That was state?
Yeah. It always has that same meaning, right? The term state means any state, district, Columbia, Puerto Rico, or any territory or possession of the United States. And if we're talking Philadelphia or Pennsylvania law, it also includes Canada, right?
Correct. Yeah, correct. Not only Philadelphia, but we also saw it in the Indiana code also, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I kind of want to pull that up real quick.
I think we were in Pennsylvania Consolidated Statute Title 75.
Yep.
There it goes. Oh, right there. Second from the bottom, bro. Oh, there it is at the top now. Yes, we were looking in the vehicle, right? Title 75 is vehicles. Correct. And I think we were at definitions 102 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. And yes, I was just looking up the word state. That's it. That's all I was looking for. State. Oh no, it's in the definitions. Oh,
right here.
Shit.
Right in front of us, actually. All right, so it says, as used in this compact, a state means a state, territory, or possession of the United States, just like the other definition, the District of Columbia, or the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. But if you look at, wait, home state, maybe this is not the one we looked at.
Yeah, that's why I said go back to the beginning real quick. Because remember, the consolidated statutes pertaining to the Pennsylvania Commonwealth, well, the state of Pennsylvania, they're probably going, or the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, because that's the same state of, which is different from like Commonwealth, which is Republic. But if you go back to the beginning, where you saw the table of contents, the table of contents for Title 75, period.
All right, my apologies. I got this bar in the way. I know y'all can't see it, but this bar keeps getting in the way. All right. You say go back to the beginning, right?
Yeah, like hit your back button.
Oh.
Okay, see 102?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And remember, they're like, in bold in parentheses. So yeah, just state by itself, actually. Like, if you just scroll to the S section.
Okay, let's go to the S section instead. Ooh, I saw resident. A person dwelling.
Again, yeah, led into deception. So yeah, S comes after. Yeah, so that's someone who's stupefied permanently. And I'm not saying like this to be mean. It's like when I gotta admit, I was looking at the etymology. I'm probably studying. I probably took a quick rest and recharge. I got up. I probably studied till about 3 in the morning. and I was really going in on the word abode, abide, reside, dwelling, dwell, and I'm just looking at everything like, man, this is to leave someone in a stupor, like as if you struck someone to be in awe or something like that. You know what I mean? However, yes, state would be below this, bro. I get it.
A form of mental sedentary energy, so to speak.
Yes, and then some would actually break the word up instead of re, which is again or back to, and then side, as you said, from the sed, S-E-D hyphen, the prefix, Proto-Indo-European prefix for sit, to sit. So reside is to sit back or to sit again, right? Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. To sit, right? And it should have the word, is the word reside there where it says it forms? Well, yeah, it was right there.
Yeah, I guarantee it is. Yeah.
It's right there. It's in the 5th line. Yeah. You know, and reside is there too. So reside is to sit again or sit in the back, and preside is to sit in front of. So a president is someone who's sitting in the front of others.
That's what's ENT? What is int?
So put hyphen ENT, so you'll note that it's a suffix. And I think it's basically making something a noun.
Word forming element making adjectives from nouns or verbs. Making adjectives from nouns or verbs.
So it's making it an adjective. Okay.
From French, ent, ent, and directly from Latin, enten, nominative, ens. Present participle ending of verbs in ir or ir.
Yeah, er or ire.
Oh, yeah, okay, I thought that was, yeah, you're right, it did say Latin Islam. Old French changed it in many words to ante, but after century 1500,
well, around 1500, circa.
Circa, right, around 1500. So when it's circa, it means 1400s, correct?
When it's century.
Oh, when it's century, yeah, it means the year, the 100 years before.
Let me think about that.
Because if you say the 14th century, it really talking about the 1300s.
Correct.
Okay, yeah, that's what I meant. All right.
Correct.
And
so
then
this 16th century,
which circa is around.
Exactly.
Here.
Exactly.
Islam. Comprehension is key.
Islam.
Some of these in English were changed back to what was supposed to be correct. Latin. See, ant. Agent or instrumental suffix old from Old French and French ant from Latin antem. Accusative or accusative.
Accusative of ons.
Upon present participle suffix of many Latin verbs. Compare ants. Let's dive out of the etymology and back into our definitions. Oh no, we didn't show the Canada thing yet.
Correct.
All right.
State. And if not, go to the Indiana code where we saw it too.
Oh, it's here for sure. We already know. There it is.
Is it saying Canada? Let's see.
Yep.
Yes, it is. It actually is.
A state, territory, or possession of the United States, the District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, or a province of Canada. So you're telling me, in regards to Pennsylvania's vehicle code, right? Their consolidated statutes in regards to vehicles. When you go to definitions, a state includes a province of Canada. Interesting.
Wow.
So you ain't gotta believe what we say. Look it up.
Research it by yourself.
All right, back to these definitions.
Mhm.
All right, so then we had Utility Regulatory Commission. We already read that, right? The term Utility Regulatory Commission means any state agency or federal agency which has authority to fix, modify, approve, or disapprove rates for sale of electric energy by an electric utility. All right, so let's go back. So we just read and defined all the words in 6801. Now we're going to the definition, so we don't have to define further in the following United States codes. We're at 6802 definitions. Term secretary means the Secretary of Energy, and if you click it, it's going to say the exact same thing for all of these. The term electric utility means any person, state agency, or federal agency which sells electric energy. The term federal agency means the agency or instrumentality of the United States. Agency or instrumentality, right?
Right. So a cash register is a federal agency.
Yes, indeed. Or anybody telling you to go get a passport.
I mean, it's sad too. What's really happening out there online, people are trying to find a way of, in their heads, quote unquote, survive. And so a lot of the mothers are, showing their chest or half of their body in some way, shape, or form, and thinking that they're actually sharing some knowledge that is to help the people. However, they're actually hurting themselves and the people by not really thoroughly going through this, knowing that they're acting as federal agents within a foreign trade zone or federal trade zone, working on foreign land. And it's like, what you're seeing here is not a physical thing that's happening, it's mental, governmental. And so people are not at the helm responsibly turning the rudder pertaining to the ship that is their mind. Now, I'm not saying they're on the waters. However, I'm saying they're putting themselves in married time with no Jesus, no justice at all.
Oh, he's coming back though, right?
Only if people stop being federal agents.
Right. They got to find the Jesus within themselves.
Correct.
The term state agency means a state political subdivision thereof, or any agency or instrumentality of either, potato, right? The term State Utility Regulatory Commission means A, any utility regulatory commission, which is a state agency, all right? Or B, the Tennessee Valley Authority.
Interessante. That's very specific. That makes me wonder, what is that?
Indeed.
What is Tennessee Valley Authority? What is that?
The Tennessee Valley Authority, TVA, is a federally owned, so it's a federal area, right?
So
electric. It's owned by or ceded to the United States. It's in the state, right?
Technically.
Is a federally owned electric utility corporation. So that's interesting that they named it Tennessee, but it's federally owned, right? In the United States. TVA's service area covers all of Tennessee, portions of Alabama, Mississippi, and Kentucky.
Interessante.
And small areas of Georgia, North Carolina, and Virginia. While owned by the federal government, TVA receives no taxpayer funding and operates similarly to a private for-profit company.
Private for-profit. And profit is waste. Profit is abuse.
It is headquartered in Knoxville, Tennessee, and is the 6th largest power supplier and largest public utility in the country.
Where is Fort Knox? I'm
Fort
curious. Where's
Knox?
Yes, I'm curious.
I thought it was Tennessee too.
Where's Fort Knox?
I think there's more than one.
Fort Knox.
South of Louisville and North Elizabethtown.
In Kentucky in Tennessee Valley Authority. Valley is like the opposite of the mountaintop. So I was just curious. That's all. I just wanted to know where Fort Knox was.
Here's a representation of where it is situated. This little map here.
Indeed.
While owned by the federal government, we already read that, right? The TVA was created by Congress in 1933. Oh, that's an interesting year.
Yeah, because that's, am I not mistaken? That's the Emergency Banking Act that took place.
Yep. You're spot on, bro. The TVA was created by Congress in 1933 as part of President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal. Its initial purpose was to provide navigation, flood control, electricity generation, fertilizer manufacturing, regional planning, and economic development to the Tennessee Valley, a region that had suffered from lack of infrastructure and poverty during the Great Depression. Relative to the rest of the nation, TVA was envisioned both as a power supplier and a regional economic development agency that would work to help modernize the region's economy and society. Later, it evolved primarily into an electric utility. It was the first large regional planning agency of the U.S. federal government and remains the largest. Under the leadership of David E. Lilienthal.
Yeah, Lilienthal, who was an American attorney. He doesn't look American to me. Or maybe, I don't know. He might have some various copper-toned beings that may be closely associated with him. Best known for his presidential, so sitting in front of, appointment to head Tennessee Valley Authority and later the Atomic Energy Commission, so the board that's making decisions about atomic energy. He had practiced public utility law. He practiced public utility law. That's what he practiced. I don't know if he got good at it, but at least he practiced it. And led the Wisconsin. Isn't that the Cheeseheads? Green Bay? Right? Public utilities. Okay. All right. David Eli.
Yeah, the TVA also became the global model for the United States. Later, efforts to help modernize agrarian societies.
Yeah, agrarian societies. An agrarian society or agricultural society is any community whose economy is based on producing and maintaining crops and farmland. Looky, Astro Cookie, back to the, Farmer Crop Insurance Corporation or whatever, where the mortgage actually derives from. Shout out to the, our loved ones at the Jurisprudence Gym within the Jurisprudence Gym. Another way to define an agrarian society is by seeing how much of a nation's total production is in agriculture. In an agrarian society, cultivating the land is the primary, the primary purpose. It probably says there if we were to continue to read that. However, I yield. I think I got the gist of it. This is recorded so we can be able to always go in on our studies later. I yield.
For the United States' later efforts to help modernize agrarian societies in the developing world. Historically, the TVA has been documented as a success in its efforts to modernize the Tennessee Valley and helping to recruit new employment opportunities to the region. Despite its successes, historians have criticized its use of eminent domain. It resulted in the displacement of over 125,000 Tennessee Valley residents to build the agency's infrastructure projects.
Click on eminent domain. I think that's similar to like saying that they have a national claim over it. Like, we nationalized this.
Yeah. We're taking this land because we have a greater purpose for it.
Yeah, but undeveloped land is land, and developed land is what they call real estate under HUD, urban development, because that's why they call it housing and urban development. So once it's developed, it's considered real estate. However, who's making these considerations? Who's doing these legal determinations? And why is there such a force in enforcing these things when the people, I think the people should have like a vote every 30 to 90 days to see if they want to have this type of energy here without someone being what's the word when someone tries to like make you suffer because you won't fully let them do what they want to do to you. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, since you don't want to do this, then we'll just take this away from you. It's like, what happened to my freedom, like my choice, my freedom pertaining to choice? It's interesting because we started looking at the Pennsylvania Commonwealth, and now it's talking about some Centralia, Pennsylvania here. Eminent domain in the United States refers to a power, power is an illusion, pertaining to a state or a federal government to take private property. Whoa, sounds like theft to me. Pardon me. If they're federal agents, it would be larceny. Sounds like larceny to me. Taking private property for public use. Sounds like someone owes some just compensation for public use while requiring, that means to again ask for, just compensation. Look, just compensation. Bro, I didn't even read that part, but it seems like the just compensation should be given to those whose private property has been taken for public use while requiring just compensation to be given to the original owner. There we go. I didn't even read the whole thing, man, because we've been exercising this in our mind jurisprudently for so many moon cycles at this point, man. You know what I'm saying? So you're going where now? Article 1. Oh, you're going to a Bill of Rights 5, it looks like.
Indeed.
No person.
Go ahead.
No, I yield.
Okay. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime unless on a presentment or indictment of a grand jury, except in cases arising in the land or naval forces or in the militia, when in actual service in time of war or public danger. Nor shall any person be subject for the same offense to be twice put in jeopardy of life or limb, nor shall be compelled, threat, duress, and coercion, forced, right? Oh, when you were saying earlier, what's the word for what? The only thing I could think of was spiteful retaliation. You know what I mean? Like,
that's what it is. It's like, hey, don't do that. Oh, well, you don't want us to do that part. We won't do any of it. Then it's like, look, you're put in power by your peers. You've been raised to sovereign power by your equals. How dare you take license and make the height of your station more important than the trust of those that put you at that station?
Exactly.
I yield. Again, that's what? Chapter 29 in the Holy Koran.
Islam.
Finally prepared by Prophet Noble Drew Ali. I yield.
nor shall be compelled in any criminal case to be a witness against himself. So what does that mean? Yo, when they come with any accusation, you don't have to say anything. Is your name so-and-so? The plaintiff bears burden of proof.
Period.
I'm not about to say anything, because why would I say anything except for, why are you talking to me? Where's my oath of office and contract proving that I'm bound to your private corporate policy, whether you want to call it public or private?
Correct. Where's my contract and oath of office that says I'm obligated to act the way you would like me to specifically perform?
And why would we say such a thing? Because slavery is illegal.
Correct.
Banned and forbidden. Oh, unless you get locked up for a crime, right? They slipped that one in there, right?
That's still.
You would still have to be a federal agent, because you can't be punished for a crime.
Yeah.
So they're basically telling you they can only enslave federal agents. So if you don't want to be enslaved, you might want to declare your nationality. Because once you declare what you are, you're also declaring what you're not. But you better know what you're not, so that you don't turn around and undo that declaration by saying something foolish like, I'm a U.S. citizen or something like that.
Correct.
So it says, nor shall be compelled in any crime or criminal case to be a witness against himself, nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property. You know, that's interesting, because that reminds me of that case law that says electricity is essential to life.
Period. So why be deprived of it because someone wants to measure how much is going into where you have domus, DOMUS? Because I'm not going to say domicile, because when you look up domicile, and there's nothing really wrong with domicile. However, the more I study, the more I exact things. In other words, I cut some things out. So it's like domicile comes from both the Latin domus plus colere. So domus and colere basically is a colonized house. A house that's colonized. So it's like, I'm not knocking, those things. I'm just saying that we are not subject to that. So domus is house. So wherever your domus is, or wherever you, I might have to look up the word rest and recharge, because one would say, what, reside? Like, no, because you're not stupefied. You're not, I'm sitting still because I'm held, I'm being sat in the back. No. Where are you presiding? Where's the domus you preside?
Wow, sitting in the back.
Where's your domus blanca or White House?
They said the new Moors was going to sit the old Moors in the back.
The new Moors are going to reside the old Moors. Gonna make the old Moors reside. That's why I said, bro, the more and more I sincerely study, because that's what I can only speak for myself. However, I know that's what we all do, because that's our culture pertaining to 7HealStar astrology firm. It's like the more you can remember when Brother Taj is like, you can sit people down with documentation and find words that better suit a document, and you'll actually realize that, hold up, man, like these people are acting on some things that really denationalize the people daily. This is why we are to utilize our own free national press to shovel ourselves from under the avalanche of lies heaped upon us annually, if not daily. I yield the floor, Brother Islam.
Nor be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall private property be taken for public use without just compensation.
Eminent domain is like, are you about the Bill of Rights 5 me? Even when people go, them running your land conveyance off the road and you're not registered with their so-called state corporation as a federal agent because you don't have a contract or an oath of office. That's them claiming eminent domain. So any and every time, this is why in the jurisprudence gem is like some people.
Repeat that one more time, bro.
Okay, so this is why even when people run you off the road, that's them, and you don't have a so-called registration with the state of corporation. And these people, these highwaymen, whether they're police, sheriff, who is a so-called elected official, but the deputized under that elected official, they're making an eminent domain claim. So really, everyone that has to deal with being pulled over by policy enforcement should be excited. Oh shit, somebody's about to offer me just compensation. We're commandeering this vehicle. Okay, how much? Because you are to offer me just compensation. Highwayman is page 862, I think. If that's what you're looking for. 862. Is that not it?
No.
Oh, no. You got to add 76 to 862. So you'll get the PDF page. Is that it? Well, maybe it's 864. But if you add, something like that. AEIO. So yeah, it's definitely before O. Should be there on the right. Scroll down. Should be on the right after HIR. Yeah, 862.
Right here.
Oh, I mean HIGH. Yeah, okay, got you. So I was right. It is 862. Yeah, page 862 in the actual document, but it's PDF page 938. So these people, these beings that are making these eminent domain claims on your I want to say property, on your property, because you're not to be deprived of life, liberty, or property without just compensation. So your life is being deprived because you're moving freely. You're the word. And these beings are making a violation under 18 USC 1702, 1703, and 1708. They're obstructing correspondence because you're going from one post to another. You're not military though. However, you're the word, you're the logos. And you have bandits out here who are trying to hold you to their eminent domain claims. So they're robbing you.
Yeah, and they're robbing you because they're robbing you because they have no business messing with you, right? Because you don't have contract with them, and they're robbing you because they're not about to give you just compensation, as is required. Just compensation is required for taking private property.
Correct.
So they're operating under the guise that your property is not private. You're using it on the behalf of the state. And if you're not using it on the behalf of the state, then why did you register it with the state? Well, they say we have to register it. Well, do you listen to everything anyone just tells you?
Where's your contract and oath of office that's obligating you to do such?
Exactly. Because if they're saying you got to do something, then they're most likely claiming that based off of some statute. And that statute applies to particular persons. Let's go back.
It almost made me when you go to like, man, you went back to etymology and looked up highway. I got a feeling we're going to get back to like devious. Because devious is from the Latin phrase devia. Devia, because via is way, road, path, right? Look up devious. Let's start there. Let's look up devious. Because that means to take a road that's not commonly taken.
Like deviate?
Right, so it's like off-roading.
Going off of the path or whatnot?
Correct. So, go ahead.
I was just going to go read it. Devious adjective, right? 1590s, out of the common or direct way.
Mm-hmm.
From Latin devious.
Yeah,
Out of the way.
Devious.
Or I don't know. I'm still thinking devious. You know, I remember being in a transitional house back when I was in trouble with these people and when I didn't know the law, and they would let us go out, right, and go to wherever we had to go, right, whether it was work or go to our little program, whatever. But we could only go there. So if you were to be caught somewhere where they didn't allow you, it would be considered deviating, and you could get violated for that. Which is funny that it's funny that they say, "Oh, did they violate you?" Right? Like if you're on probation or parole and you catch a new charge, you go before the board and they will violate you. That's the funny part. They violate you if they feel like they want to send you up to prison. Oh, you violated your terms of your stuff, so we're gonna violate you. I just find it funny how it's them violating you, not you violating them. That's hilarious.
And the whole time though, they're doing it knowing that one does not know that one is being treated as a contracted oath-taking federal, state, or municipal agent working within a foreign trade zone on federal land.
And it's so cold now that the new guys that are coming into this, they're training them to have this mindset where they are believing that this just applies to everyone. So then, so they got someone as ignorant as you enforcing the policy upon you.
Yeah, so when you're talking about someone who's a United States citizen or U.S. citizen that owes a debt to the United States. 20 CFR 422.104. I yield.
Islam, yeah. So, you know, when you're dealing with someone who's claiming to enforce anything, whether it's a state statute, federal law, and they themselves don't know who it applies to, that's a very dangerous situation you're dealing with. All right. So deviate from Latin devious, out of the way, remote, off the main road. From D, via.
Yeah, de via.
From de, off, de, plus via, way, road. That's why they use that word. Oh, via, you know. I got correspondence via email, by way of email, right?
Correct.
Compare deviate.
Yeah, go right
Originally, in the Latin literal sense, the figurative sense of deceitful.
It's first recorded in the 1630s. So it took them 40 years to get deviate to mean deceitful or to utilize it in connotation, whereas the denotation is out of the common or direct way. So going out of the way for someone means you're deviating for someone.
Right. Not necessarily being deceitful in your deviation.
Exactly. This is a dual-edged sword, these words. It's a dual-edged sword, these words.
The beauty is enlightening.
Goodness gracious. I yield, bro.
First recorded in 1630s. Related deviously, deviousness. Figurative senses of Latin word were retired, sequestered, wandering in the byways, foolish, inconsistent.
Figurative senses, which means it's not literal.
Right.
So a figurative means like we're using it connotatively, whereas literal, we're using it denotatively. So the literal devious is describing an event or a person, place, or thing, a people, place, or thing that's going out of the main way. Where figuratively, people are going to, try to say it's deceptive or you know, some negative connotation. However, that's why I just wanted to, like, yeah, man, let's look up highway. Because, I mean, if you go back to etymology, that's where we were going. Look up, go back to deviate, to devious, click on deviate. And you'll see, it's gonna take you there. Now watch. Click on WIA. WEG, here we go. Now click on WEG. Oh, stop right there. WIA. Highways right there with WIA. Highways right there in the first line.
1779. 1779. From Latin, via, by way of. Ablative form of via. Way, road, path, highway, channel, course. From Proto-Indo-European root, way, to go, move, transport in a vehicle.
Wow.
This is also the source of English way.
Now click on WEG, the prefix WEG. Now look what you get.
Oh, always away.
The root WEG, let me read the Watkins, all right, from Watkins, page 96. The root WEG, quote, to convey, especially by wheeled vehicle. We're gonna have to look up vehicle too. And is found in virtually every branch of Indo-European, including now Anatolian. The root, as well as other widely represented roots such as ox and no, those are prefixes, all right, attests to the presence pertaining to the wheel and vehicles using it at the time Proto-Indo-European was spoken, and that's by Watkins, all right, page 96, right? But look what WEG has formed. This Proto-Indo-European root, to go, move, transport in a vehicle. Man, please click on vehicle. It's in the third line from the bottom. Yeah. A medium. This sounds like a conduit. It's from the 1610s. And remember, in 1590 was when you found devius, well, devious, which came from the Latin devius. So this ain't too long ago. Quote, a medium through which a drug or medicine is administered. See why watch when you go and look up resident. That's why, boy, they think everyone's fucking patients. Medical fucking patients. Stupefied by some drug and or medicine administered by vehicle.
And then that goes back to like them doing all this crazy stuff they're doing with putting crazy stuff in the foods and popping up liquor stores on every corner, and now they're popping up you know, these dispensaries everywhere. They want you to be a patient in a sedentary mindset that's always stupefied. You know what I mean? Because that way,
by a resident. Watch, look up resident. Continue your wisdom, and then look up resident.
That's why. I mean, the goal is to get your mind right, and if you're looking at the mind as the heaven, you know what I'm saying, and then the body as the earth, you know, and they want to control the earth and the resources. So in order to get the body, they got to get the mind. So therefore, they're going to put you in the stupefied, right, in the drug and medicine induced state of mind, right, so that they can forever have jurisdiction over you, so they can forever administer the heavens and the earth,
the mind and the body, the menti and the testi. Also, any means, quote, any means of conveying or transmitting, end quote, from French véhicule, right? 16th century, that's the 1500s, right? Circa 1500s. The Latin vehiculum, quote, means of transport, vehicle, carriage, conveyance, end quote, from vehere, quote, to bear, carry, convey. That's why one mother's breast is given us suck, and we're still within the womb. We are in vientre samedi. You see what I'm saying? We are in Mary. From Proto-Indo-European root wag. There it is again. Right? To go, move, transport in the vehicle, end quote, which also is the source of English wagon. Since pertaining to, quote, cart or other conveyance, end quote, in English, first recorded in the 1650s. So that's 60 years after the word devious, right? Or devious, right? Now watch when you look up resident in terms of vehicle. So a vehicle is a medium through which, so a syringe needle would be a vehicle. So so people that are in vehicles, are they drugs? They're dry goods.
Right. Are they medicine?
You see what I'm saying? And medicine, the root. Medi is middle, sine to see. So are they seeing the middle? So are their middle seeing their balance being administered?
Yeah, they're saying that everything in the car is commercial and it's being transported commercially, right? The vehicle is the medium through which the commercial product is being moved or administered, right? They're claiming that the people inside are passengers, right? Those are commercial designations, saying that one is operating in a commercial capacity, or paying someone for a commercial service, right? A passenger.
It sucks for Lyft and Uber drivers. That's all I can say. Go ahead, I yield.
Yeah, anything in your car is goods, right?
Dry goods. That's what drugs are. Drugs are dry goods.
So yeah, they're this is very interesting to mix the etymology, right, with the study of civics and law and history and even astrology. It all goes together, guys. You're gonna see this. You're gonna see it. The more you study, the more you know.
My excitement, pardon me. Go ahead, bro.
I know, I'm pretty excited too.
Yeah, I'm turned all the way up right now, bro. I didn't even grab my fruit yet. I like to have my apples and bananas. So it's like, bro, like, okay, resident, go ahead. You're gonna see. And I mean resident in the sense of a physician.
Let me see. As a verb, then, or as a noun? Oh, that's reside. That's reside. All right. Resident, noun, mid 15th century. An inhabitant, or quote, an inhabitant, one who dwells
or led into deception. One who is led into deception
in a place permanently or for a considerable time. From resident, adjective, meaning, quote, medical graduate.
I can't make this shit up. I can't fucking make it up.
Doing supervised. Who's doing the supervising? Specialized. Who's special? Or how did they become special? How did they get their special, knowledge pertaining to what they're specialized in, right? Practice, into their practice in a hospital as training. End quote.
Hold on. Now you see that where suffocate yourself and stay a burial plot's depth away from people. Why it went down the way that it did, because people are
mental patients
calling themselves fucking patients, or drugs or medicine being administered under the drug and medicine administration codes called vehicle codes. Is this shit making sense, y'all? Like, I know we're doing this pre-recording. I get it. And this is for AstroCivics Sunday. However, like, are we really... I mean, don't just be like, ooh, whoa, those brothers so deep, they so intelligent. Like, Prophet Noble Drew Ali expressly prescribed, enforce the Constitution. Enforce means to strengthen. Con, with, standing, Ushin, state. So you're withstanding state, so that you don't continue being notwithstanding. I yield. 66. Goodness. Jesus Christ. 66% of the infants, because when we go and look up adult is infant, in the United States use prescription dry goods. Utilization is particularly high for older people and those with chronic conditions. That's according to Georgetown.
Let's see what else. We see statistics here. 45%, 46. Here goes a 70% of Americans take at least one.
It's funny too. Go back up to because I wanted to point, because you just mentioned it. It's even with astrology. Go back up to Georgetown's quote. What do you see there after it says georgetown.edu?
RX drugs?
Dry goods.
Oh, snap.
Yo, I can't make this up, man. The whole RX or the D over top of an arrow pointing in the opposite direction that Sagittarius's arrow points into.
And it is slowing the people down, right?
It's making them stupefied. They're residing.
It's slowing them down to the point where it looks like they're moving backwards. Apparent retrograde motion.
That's why it's like, bro, like we're not deep, we're not stretching this thing. We're being real. Period. I yield, bro. We started at energy. We're dealing with 42 USC subsection 60. See, symbols for retrograde, as well as, you know, that's pharmacy, man, right? Because they want to put, and I said, it's the letter D over top of the arrow of aspiration. But the arrow of aspiration is going in the opposite direction.
RX drugs.
Come on, man. That's what I said, man. Like, are we really? I think a lot of people want true freedom. I get it. They do. And those brothers like you and I that have the time that we have had to study, yes, we have no problem assisting, you know what I mean, our mothers and our brothers. However, this is not a we do something for you type thing. This is in order to change the people, you must change their literature. Again, I remember when brother, and that's quoting Prophet Noble Ali. And I remember a video with brother Statute Bey when he was like, your problem is because you're not teaching them. Like, that's why you're suffering. You're suffering because you're not teaching them. So I and my brothers at 7HealStar astrology firm, we're not for the fucking suffering. So we're doing our due diligence and bringing it to you with 0 packages being sold, without selling you back into slavery. Also, period.
Without promoting federal
so
agents.
Wear a fez, or one could wear a turban. However, we're going to be men wearing our fezzes, right? And not knocking the turban at all. However, if we do wear a turban, it's not going to be mixed with the fez, because in law, the word and is a conjunction. So is but and or. However, that and means inclusive, which means only.
Inclusive, which means closing it off.
Closing it within, exactly. Closing it off, therefore closing it within. So
closed, inclusive.
I'm not knocking people that wear their turban around their fez. I'm just saying you may want to check to see if you're in the spirit of those that are selling your own back into slavery. Don't be mad at me. I'm just analyzing the word.
Islam.
I yield. But look, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be this motherfucker think he look. Okay, guys, look, get over yourselves, man. You know what I mean? Like, we're no harm, no foul. We're being fair as a motherfucker to you guys. Like, seriously, and pardon my French. However, I'm no leader guy in the Moorish movement. Okay, I'm just Brother Hasan. That's it. I'm just your brother. Alrighty, so don't look at me as some leader guy. I'm just someone who has had the time to analyze these things and then share it with you freely. Like, seriously. all we look for is if you want us to do something for you, you're going to give us just compensation, because we're not going to allow you to take our private property without you giving us just compensation. You have no eminent domain over our time. As my brother would say, do you have a monopoly on the sun and the earth?
All right, you have a monopoly on nature?
Do you have a monopoly on nature? No, that doesn't make sense.
So check this out, man. I just find it. Remember, we were talking about, them taking private property without giving just compensation, and then going back to not right here. My apologies. Going back right here to highwayman being one who robs travelers, right, upon the highway, and then then vehicle being a medium, right? And then you go and look at how these people are all residents, patients, and then look how much in just 1 year, 1998, 73 billion on prescription drugs. So are they not robbing?
Hold on. So the prescription drugs are costly. 73 billion. I'm guessing that Caduceus symbol there may be alluding to what they call United States dollars, which are not Yakumstaler dollars, which is metal. They must be speaking about what they term Federal Reserve notes.
And remember, a highwayman is a bandit who robs travelers upon the highway.
Wow.
That is a robbing. Look at that. These people don't even need these drugs.
Well, because they're being said that they are the drug. They are the drug. They are the seeing the middle.
Yeah.
Middle, cine, seeing, because cine is the root in cinema, or like the channel, Cinemax, or the word cinematography, or cinematographer, right? So if you look up the etymology medicine, I guarantee you is to see the middle. If you look up the etymology pertaining to medicine, medi is middle, cine is to see. So to see the middle. They're going to say medical treatment, cure, healing. Okay, well, that means that one must have balanced sight, because it's not too much on the right, too much on the left. So justice, right? The scales pertaining to justice. And that's the case, then shouldn't nobody be touching one who is truly seeing the middle.
Islam. The middle can also be looked at as the inside or within. Circa 1200, quote, medical treatment, cure, healing, end quote. Also early 14th century, quote, substance used in treatment of a disease, medicinal potion or plaster, end quote. Also used figuratively of spiritual remedies. From Old French, médecine, modern French, médecine, quote, medicine, art of healing, cure, treatment, potion, end quote, and directly from Latin medicina, right? That's the same as Moorish Latin, right?
Medicina. Well, medicina, yeah, of course, you already know. Yeah, you
quote,
know, bro.
A healing art, medicine, a remedy, end quote, also used figuratively. This is perhaps originally ars medicina or medicina, the quote, the medical art, end quote, from feminine of medicinus, adjective, quote, of a doctor, end quote, from medicus, quote, a physician, end quote.
There's physicians again, and remember, Jesus was disputing with the physicians pertaining to the law, the doctors of the law.
Islam.
The legum.
He had to be about his father's work.
So medicus legums. What'd you say?
I said, yeah, because he had to be about his father's work.
Period.
Parentheses from Proto-Indo-European root med, right?
Made,
Quote, take appropriate measures, end quote, end parentheses. Though Old English Dictionary says evidence For this path is wanting and suggests derivation directly from medicus. The sense of, quote, practice, theory, or study of curing, alleviating, or preventing diseases in humans, end quote, is from mid-14.
Yeah, the mid-1300s, mid-14th century, same thing.
The figurative phrase, take one's medicine, quote, submit to something disagreeable, end quote, is recorded by 1865. That of dose of one's own medicine is by 1894. Medicine show, quote, traveling show meant to attract a crowd. So patient or patent?
So patent medicine.
Patent, I was gonna say, yeah. So patent medicine, oh yeah, so patent medicine can be sold to them, end quote. Is American English 1938. Medicine ball, quote, stuffed leather ball used for exercise, end quote, is from 1889.
Now,
it is called,
no, go ahead, because I'm saying we're going to get to that made and that see name. You're going to see that medicine means to see the middle. Go ahead, I yield.
It is called a, quote, medicine ball, end quote, and it got that little or that title from Professor Robert J. Roberts, now of Springfield, whose fame is widespread and whose bright and peculiar dictionary of terms for his prescription department in physical culture is taught in every first class conducted Y.M.C.A. YMCA gymnasium
Christian Association
in America. Professor Roberts calls it a, quote, medicine ball, end quote, because playful exercise with it invigorates the body, promotes digestion, and restores and preserves one's health. Scientific American Supplement, March 16, 1889. Here we are. I didn't even have to click on it. Med, Proto-Indo-European root. Take appropriate measures. It forms all or part of accommodate, accommodation, commode, commodious, commodity, empty, immoderate, immodest, media, medical, medicament, medicaster, medicate, medication, medicine, medico as a prefix.
Correct.
Mediate, mediation.
Mediate. And in the middle. Now go ahead.
Mediation, right. When they mediate, they go in between, right? Medusa, meat, adjective. I really want to click on this real quick. What is USA? All right, we'll get back to that. I just thought that was interesting. All right. Go down. Medusa, meat, adjective. Quote, proper, fitting, end quote. Meat, verb. Quote, to allot, end quote. Model, mode, or modal, mode.
Yeah, modal.
This
and,
is model.
Modal and model.
Yeah. Moderate, modern, modest, modicum, modify, modular, modulate, module, modulation, mold, noun one, quote, hollow, shape, end quote. Mood.
Yeah, like ice trays, like how an ice tray would mold the water once you freeze it. Yeah, I yield.
Indeed. Noun, second noun, right? Second noun sense. The noun is the second one. Quote, grammatical form indicating the function of a verb, end quote. Must, verb. Premeditate. Meditated. It was thought about, or it was let's see. Pre is before, right? Med is in the middle, and atate, not sure.
Probably a state. So before measuring the middle, or appropriate measuring the middle, considering.
All right. Premeditation, remedial, remediation, and remedy.
Mm-hmm.
It is the hypothetical source of / evidence pertaining to evidence for its existence is provided by Sanskrit. Medir. Quote, I judge, estimate. End
Wow.
quote. Avistan or Awistan, Mod,
Yeah, Vestan is another language.
Islam. Okay. Avestan, and then it's Vmod or Wemod. I don't know if it's similar to Latin with the V's.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, physician, end quote, Greek, midome.
Yeah, middle
Midomai. Quote, be mindful of. Interesting, because I said again, med could be the middle could be the inside. Mindful is within.
Correct.
And then we have quote, medishtai, right? Then we have quote, think about. Back to the middle, back to within.
Mm-hmm.
Median. Oh, the Persian and Median laws, right? Or right? That sounds like
How we're measuring, or even when it comes to, because median means to measure, like Maha, great, Medan, measurers. So the Mohammedans are the great measurers.
Indeed.
It's time for a jurisprudence gem too, bro. So you can wrap up accordingly. I'm not rushing. I'm just saying we just went in.
Oh wait, wait. What'd you say about jurisprudence, Jim?
It's time now.
Oh, right now. Oh, okay.
Right now.
All right. Well, all right, Islam. We're gonna just end it right here, then, because we got class. So we don't just do class; we go to class.
Flat out.
So let's go back over here. Hold on, I got this.
Take it back the way you started. You started at 42 USC 68 on 1, man.
All right, so we just finished the definitions real quick. We already got State Utility Regulatory Commission, state, and then we have Utility Regulatory Commission. That's all the definitions. We already read those. And, maybe we'll touch on this a little more next AstroCivics Sunday. Islam, bro. Tunes in. Peace and love.
Islam, bro. Peace and love.
You're seriously a liar, go beautifully, zodiacal, the life in you is viable, and I like how you are heavily reliable, synodically, openly, knowingly, cycle through intuitively, cyclical, developmental stages and phasing of cycle.